Hi, welcome to Unique Parenting. I am B Moise, and today I want to talk to you guys about hyperfocus or hyperfixation, depending on how you want to call it. So basically, hyperfocus is a state of being so concentrated on a particular thing that you lose track of everything else. You lose track of time, you forget to eat, you forget to use the bathroom. It's just you're so into what you're doing that you don't even know there's other things that exist, including basic needs or, the desire to do something else. Like you're just fully engaged in that activity or that task. And hyperfocus tend to happen with a task that you enjoy, right? So I tend to hyperfocus on anything that I love. So if you've been watching me, and you've been watching these videos, you know how I feel about gardening. You know how much I love gardening. I will spend hours, hours outside just because I like it, and I forget about everything else. Now that seems like, okay, it's gardening, so it's important. There's always something to do. I will spend hours on anything else that I really, really like, even if it's nonsensical, even if there's no purpose or point to it. Hyperfocus tends to be a phenomenon for ADHDers, like myself. So if your child, hyperfocus on a particular task, it's not a bad thing. However, they need to be educated on it. Basically, you want to educate your child, like, listen, your brain is wired to do this. Like your brain will naturally do this thing. So you got to be aware. Like if you have homework to do, this is not the time to start a Lego project. Like this is just not the time, because they won't be able to break from it. And trying to break from that hyper focus, like you're kind of like you're in a tunnel, right? And once you're in that zone, when someone tries to pull you out, it's incredibly disruptive. It is incredibly difficult for the brain to just switch tasks like that. And if you have a neurodivergent child, you already know how difficult it is for them to transition. So they can't transition from a hyper focus mode into, oh, I'll just stop doing this thing now and I'll go do something else, or I'll go do the task that you asked me to do. No, doesn't work that way. But they need a transitional cue, such as hey, don't forget. I always like to do a different combination of cues. I do one verbal, hey, get ready to stop doing this task. I do another verbal confirmation, which is basically, hey, let's get ready to do this task. And what did I say? And then, my child will repeat, let's get ready to do this task. And then I do a verbal followed by a sensory input. And it's like a soft touch on the shoulders. It's kind of like a, hey, look at me. So I like to do those 3 different transitions to help the child know that you got to get out of hyper focus mode and into task mode. That's not something that you like. Now, that doesn't, that will work with everything, not just if a child's in hyper focus. The transitional cues tend to help. But when a child is in hyper focus, I think it's nice to tell them how it's like, it's a good thing, right? You're so dedicated to this thing that you're putting all of your time and energy and effort into it, but it can be incredibly time consuming, and they need to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. So, just know that it's not a bad thing, but it can become a bad thing because they're so fully concentrated on a particular task that they forget about everything else. I wrote in my 3rd book, this one. I had to think about it for a minute where they're located. In my 3rd book, I basically wrote in hyperfocus mode because I was so engaged in the material and the content that I was writing. I basically wrote it in a day. I was just so hyper-focused on it. So it's not a bad thing. It's just how you decide to utilize that energy. But I've also, created a new garden in a day, which is not a good thing because that's extremely exhausting. So it's not a bad thing, but it does need to be tailored in a way that is productive, and also it needs to be educated you need to educate your child on what they're doing so they can understand why they have these behaviors, and they'll get better control over them. So hyperfocus is not bad. It can be, right? but it can also be a tool that they can utilize. It's also why they tend to procrastinate, because if you can get everything done in the last few seconds and all your energy is dedicated to that thing, why not? Like, why not? So, I've written a video about procrastination and why it happens. So procrastination and hyperfocusing kind of work hand in hand together. So be sure to check out that video too, because it kind of explain why one thing lead to another. So in the meantime, I want you all to enjoy your unique parenting journey with your unique